All right, y'all. I might have moved from Texas, but the y'all still in there. Welcome everybody to this wonderful Thursday fireside chat to introduce you to LiquidPlanner. Without further ado, we're going to dive right into today's topics. For those of you who don't know Tempo, we're going to introduce Tempo. For those of you that don't know LiquidPlanner, we're going to introduce LiquidPlanner. We're going to talk about the coming together of our organizations, what's next, what's exciting, why, all of the sorts of questions you might have. And to get that kicked off, just wanted to, you got the product person on the phone here. My name is Shannon Mason. I'm our Chief Product Officer, or the supporter and enabler of trouble, as Mark likes to call me. Our vision here at Tempo is really around how do we help organizations find that joy inside of building, find that flow state inside of building. And our product mission is really around never, ever having our customers build unachievable, unpivotable, unrealistic plans again by having great indicators, data, information to do that. So I think today's conversation is really, really appropriate because we're going to talk about exactly that. And before we dive in, Mark, introduce yourself, please. Give us a little overview of Tempo.
Happy to. Thank you, Shannon. Ted, Jen, real pleasure to be here with you as well. Again, welcome to Tempo. My name is Mark Lorien, CEO of Tempo Software. I'm based in the Boston area. Tempo. So we are one of the largest and most successful application providers in the Atlassian ecosystem and a leading provider of portfolio management solutions. And we've got a really unique and modular way of enabling our customers to solve those sorts of challenges. We'll talk about that today and kind of specifically why LiquidPlanner is such a powerful addition to our growing suite of capabilities. But the things that we offer our customers range from road mapping and idea management, helping teams to plan and identify what they want to work on. We've got tools and capabilities in the project and program management space, so breaking that work down into various work streams. And then, of course, we've got resource and cost management tools as well, which help companies understand the capacity that they have to get work done and to better allocate it so that they can visualize how that work is going to progress, how they can optimize it. So you can probably already get a sense from Shannon's comments and mine how critical the planning component of this mission is and why the pieces are coming together ultimately to unlock value in the customers that we support.
Thanks for that. And Ted, a little bit about LiquidPlanner.
Yeah, happy to. Thanks, Shannon. Ted Hawksford. I am now the general manager of LiquidPlanner as part of Tempo, and very excited to be part of the Tempo family. LiquidPlanner was founded 15 years ago. Our founder, Charles Siebold, saw problems in the marketplace that weren't being addressed well. And those included adapting to change that happens every day, using software more effectively to deploy resources against priorities in a company, and importantly, to build a tool that enabled teams and project leaders to predict outcomes, to anticipate what's coming next, to adapt in real time to all the change that happens every day, and to manage workloads and teams and assignments in a more balanced, responsible way. What he experienced leading projects across large enterprises was that teams were overworked, expectations were unrealistic, and software wasn't helping. And so we set out to build a product and continue to invest to enhance that product to solve those problems. And what you see illustrated on the slide are the ingredients that we have put into the product that we bring to bear to enable teams to achieve more, to plan with greater confidence, to have trust in their schedule, and to deploy work across resources, and as I've been talking about, a fair and balanced way. And so we're pretty proud of what we've been building. In fact, we're confident that it is unique in the marketplace. And I'm excited to be part of Tempo. I'm talking with you from Seattle, Washington, and our team is fully remote and looks forward to joining a company that likewise is distributed across the globe, as Mark mentioned earlier. So thanks, Shannon.
Thank you, Ted. Thank you, Ted. Jen, we're going to get to that demo because everybody's itching to know it, but you're our VP of product for LiquidPlanner. Introduce yourself just for a moment here.
Wonderful. Thanks, Shannon. Hello, everyone. It's so great to be here with you all. I head up the product side of things at LiquidPlanner, and I've been passionate about solving these problems for the past decade. I've worked in sales, customer success, and product, and really excited to show you in a little bit what the product can do.
Stoked for that. So give us a little bit of the layout, Mark. What really interested you when those conversations started between you and Ted? You started looking at the LiquidPlanner product around this coming into Tempo's emerging portfolio solutions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good question. I think it's important to understand and appreciate the value that Tempo has been delivering and wants to deliver to our customer base, because that ties really tightly into why we were out looking for a solution that could really accelerate our ability to strengthen on the planning side. So, what our customers gain from us is the ability to optimize and gain insights into their plans, the capacity, and the ability to get work done and optimize the investments that they're making around all of these projects. That helps our customers to hopefully align on prod dev strategy, prioritize the initiatives across their portfolio, to allocate capacity and resources efficiently and effectively, and to monitor the progress of that work. And what we realized is that a lot of our customers were struggling on the planning side, that it's difficult. Ted had mentioned rapidly adapting to change. Customers trying to determine when is their work going to finish. Will it finish? Can that team take on more work? How do they allocate so that they can optimize all of that? And it's difficult, particularly as you start dealing with multiple products across multiple teams, multiple geographies. It gets very, very difficult. So we were looking for an ability to better manage that. And we learned about LiquidPlanner earlier on. We've been meeting with the team, quite for some time, looking at how the products themselves might integrate, looking at alignment with our customer base and the people that we serve naturally. And we realized there's a lot of overlap. And honestly, I think a shared passion for solving these sorts of challenges and a real common culture that ran between the company. And it felt like the right thing to do, that we could accelerate this, both in delivering and bringing this to the Tempo installed customer base, and also helping to accelerate LiquidPlanner's further growth and acceleration. So it was a natural combination.
It almost sounded a little bit like you were thinking perhaps as the Tempo portfolio is growing, this might help too. It sounded like you were speaking a little bit from experience there. I know we're speaking from experience here on this call. Getting that window of opportunity to make sure that we can actually deliver projects, programs, products is so, so important. And I don't think I could have done a better setup than what you and Ted just described for Jen. So one of the things that was important for us today was to make sure folks could see the magic that is in LiquidPlanner. So Jen, our VP of product for LiquidPlanner, is going to show us a little bit of that Zaza Zoo. So Jen, I'll turn it over to you.
That sounds great. And I look forward to sharing some of the magic. How's my screen coming in for everybody?
We can see it beautifully.
Wonderful. So as Ted described some of those problems and some of the core factors that make up LiquidPlanner, the one that I'm going to talk about most today is our predictive scheduling engine. And that is because it is the core differentiator and the base of what drives so much value to our users. And our predictive scheduling engine does a lot of things, but first and foremost, it helps teams build reality-based schedules. And when change occurs, it helps them see that change so they can manage risk and adapt along the way. So as you're looking at the demo today, know that this predictive scheduling engine is continuously running behind the scenes in every view that we're going to look at together. And speaking of views, we're in one of our main portfolio views. This is where you can come to see all of your active projects across the entire project portfolio. And in LiquidPlanner, everything is always prioritized from top all the way down to bottom. So your higher priority projects are at the top, getting scheduled first, and your lower priority projects are down towards the bottom, happening later. So this is structured prioritization. And what this does is it builds your departments and your organization's priorities into the planning process from the very beginning. Now, this high-level view also shows you some data like who the project is for. In this case, we have clients that we're doing work for and how long each project is going to take in a best case, worst case range. And then our predictive scheduling engine is calculating these expected finish dates that you see here, as well as automatically building these dynamic schedule bars. And we'll talk a lot more about those. But first, let's go ahead and drill into a project. Within a project, as you would imagine, you have a series of tasks, and these tasks are also prioritized. And our scheduling engine is continuously looking at things like the priority order of work, the people that are actually doing the work and their capacity, and how that is related to their capacity across other projects, as well as the best case, worst case amount of effort that it's going to take to get the work done. Now, in LiquidPlanner, we embrace uncertainty. We know that there's uncertainty in almost all types of work that we do. And this range is what helps us capture that and ultimately do best case, worst case scenario modeling. Now, the expected finish dates and the schedule bars, all those factors I just talked about, along with dependencies and other schedule constraints like limits, that's how we're calculating these days and how we're building these bars. Now, the bars are dynamic and they're going to change in real time as change occurs. When there's a priority shift, or when there's a big scope increase, or perhaps someone joins the project or goes to work on something different, LiquidPlanner is going to know, and the scheduling engine is going to show you the impact right away. And let's talk about this schedule bar here for a moment. This is for our marketing videos task, and it currently has a target finish date of the 24th of this month. But unfortunately, based off of the reality of resource availability and priorities and how long the work is going to take, there is no way that we're going to realistically be able to hit that target finish. So whenever there's risk, LiquidPlanner is going to give you a visual indicator and show that red right away. Now, in the case of this task, it's actually the first thing that we need to work in our project. So I'm going to make that update. And you'll notice that we can now complete this task earlier, about 13 days earlier, and far within that target finish deadline. Now, you may have noticed that there was some other red at the high level, actually quite a bit of red, because this is at a high level project. So our install new roaster, this is for our top customer. It's one of our biggest priorities, but it's red. It's not going to meet that target finish date. So I'm going to go ahead and make that adjustment and bring our project to the very top of the portfolio. And success. This is great news. We can complete this project by its expected finish, or by its target finish date. The expected finish date looks good. But guess what? We have some bad news. In making that change, we actually put a whole separate project at risk of missing the target finish. And the reason for that is that almost all of our projects are inherently tied together through shared people, shared dependencies, and an impact to one project can either positively or negatively impact a whole other project in the portfolio. And Shannon, you mentioned this earlier, and Mark, you as well, as projects get complicated, as teams are running large, complex portfolios, it's inevitable that your projects are going to be connected. But the good news is that LiquidPlanner was designed to help you surface that cross-project impact. So when something happens to one project and it negatively impacts another, you're going to see that right away and have the ability to see and control the risk. I'll point out that LiquidPlanner has a series of dashboards with deep insights and data on how to potentially mitigate risk, as well as workload views to see in whatever timeframe you want to look at how your people are distributed across all the projects in your portfolio. And you'll notice here that I have quite the lion's share of the workload, and there's a lot of tasks that are assigned to me, that simply are not going to get done within that deadline. So if we go back to our high level view and we go into our project that is now at risk, and I can see here that I'm on that critical chain, right? This is the work that's assigned to me that cannot meet that target finish. I'm going to go ahead and grab these 3 tasks, and I'm going to reassign them to our lovely moderator, Shannon. And the moment that I do, voila, no more risk. We can now complete all of the tasks within our target finish that we have been aiming for. And as we go back up to
reduced risk.
yeah, thank you, Shannon.
Notice she didn't assign the work to me though, Shannon. That was a smart call.
Well, thank you very much, Shannon, because now we are back on track and we have a happy, healthy portfolio, if you will. And so everyone, that's just a little bit about what the LiquidPlanner predictive engine can do. It's designed to help teams build those reality-based plans, see change, and manage risk, because that's just inevitable in our day-to-day.
I'll just interject a little bit more. I've been watching the chat, and one of the things Jen was modeling but didn't say in her words was that many of our customers use this as a scenario modeling tool. And so because our engine works in real time, you can build and change and adjust priority, add or delete resources. All of those things Jen just mentioned, you can do in real time to gauge, do you have capacity? Can your team take on more work? Can you get the work done that the organization is promising? Or does this new opportunity justify a higher priority for a particular project or a new project? All of that can be done, and that real-time capacity truly is unique in the marketplace. So great question. Thanks for asking it.
Thank you, Ted.
Thank you, Jen. Thank you, Ted. This kind of, again, it's great segues and great layups here. Ted, what you described, and Mark, what you described, it sounds a little bit like, to be honest, portfolio management nirvana, right? So much of the work that we've done in our own lives and managing product lines or projects or complex scenarios, you don't get those leading indicators. You are usually finding out when it's too late. What possibilities do you see for our customers? And this is both for Ted and Mark. What possibilities do you see for our customers and how this can change the way that they work?
Well, there was another question in the chat, and that is whether LiquidPlanner has a Jira integration. And I know many of our customers have been asking for that as well. As part of Tempo, we're working on it now, and we're really excited to bring that to bear soon. And so that's one of the things. Something I didn't mention in my background is I come from the hospitality industry, from companies like Disney. And my early career experiences gave me a lot of customer empathy and perspective. It's just how I'm striped and how I'm wired to do my work. And hopefully I brought that to LiquidPlanner 4 years ago when I joined, to really listen to our customers, to hear what is needed and where we're delivering and where we're failing. And that is where we're squarely focused now. What Tempo does for us is enables us to deploy more resource against these asks. And what we've observed over serving customers for 15 years. And we're excited about building that into the product that exists and bringing that together to offer better solutions to the marketplace. Of course, building software takes some time. And so both for our existing customers and all the potential future customers that we can serve together, keep the information flowing so that we build what's most important to you.
Absolutely. And Ted, shameless plug. I think the response to that question should be public for everybody. But if you email solutions@tempo.io, and I'll drop that in the chat here on the webinar, we'll make sure you get connected with Jen, who's been leading all of our workable proof of concept in terms of the integrations in Atlassian and beyond. We have lots of customers that are not using Jira every single day, sometimes using it for DevOps every single day. And so we're seeking to serve a broad space, a broad group here. Mark, you've done a lot of software delivery in your life, product, marketing, leadership roles, CEO roles, COO roles. What do you see for the future in terms of how this can have an impact for the customers that we work with every day?
Well, as you can attest, I've been hounding the team internally to give me access to this, to LiquidPlanner across our own planning efforts, because, like many people on the call, I'm sure, there's only so many people to get projects done. Usually a team or a organization's appetite for work and projects is beyond its capacity to easily complete. And what we love about LiquidPlanner is this super powerful and elegant model that helps people like me and other team leaders visualize how to better get that work done. What's possible? What's the lowest risk path to get something done and delivered? Do we need to make trade-offs between project A, B, and C? And are there better ways to allocate those resources? Because at the end of the day, time becomes one of those super limited resources. We only have so many people. There's only so much time in a week. How do we best allocate that to get the best, most meaningful work done? And I think the interface is elegant. It's easy to use. And, as has been indicated and suggested, we are going to make it easier and easier to get data into LiquidPlanner so that users can visualize different paths for getting that work done. So easier to get data in, easier to visualize different paths, how to optimize actually executing it.
So we're going to poll the audience right now on how they've been thinking about adaptive planning, predictive planning, getting this level of insight. The question here, it's, hopefully there's a little joviality to it, but how often do you have challenges hitting the window opportunity or meeting a deadline, right? So much of our lives, especially our work lives these days, is about, oh, we've got this particular amount of time. Can we actually get to that space of that time? So feel free to answer here. Mark, Ted, I did have a question in terms of when did you potentially miss a big window of opportunity, and what were the things that you wish you had when that happened? Ted, how about you?
It happens all the time. And it feels like it's happening more lately. The pace of business has increased substantially over the years. I sometimes long for what used to be more people to do the work, more time to do the work, and less change hitting our desks every day. But at the same time, the pace has been fun. It's professionally rewarding. But not delivering isn't fun. In fact, if I look back at the most stressful times in my career, it's when I had overpromised and I knew I was going to underdeliver. And so what do you do in that situation? You ask for help. You ask the team to work extra hard. You do that yourself. You burn the candle on both ends. And, now in my advanced stage, I can't do that. I can't get away with 5 hours of sleep anymore. And people don't want to work with me when I only get 5 hours of sleep. And you can't do that to your teams. I think that's a reality check all of us as business professionals can witness. People have choice about where they work, and how we treat our teams in the workplace it really matters. It matters now more than ever. And so, software helps us to be more productive. It also can cause frustration. We are tasked with building software that solves problems, that delivers productivity, that enables people to do more with less, as we're all being asked to do lately. And that really is part of what I'm excited about with our product, and how we use it at LiquidPlanner to sort of resolve the stresses that are natural in today's working environment. And the team will attest to the fact that I'm always asking for more. I would love for us to be able to build more features faster to respond to customer needs. The reality is we know what we can get done. In fact, we have high confidence with our capacity, and we plan accordingly. And, I'm proud to say, I hope I can say and represent for the team that they appreciate that.
Yeah,
My
if
topic
anyone,
is-
if anyone has that level of visibility, Ted, it would be you and the team, given your access to a great tool, right?
Indeed, that's the case. And Jen is the master of assigning work across our dev team and managing that work according to how we're progressing. And we rely on our tool every day. You can see.
And I think
So the results are in from our poll, and the one person that responded that they've never missed a window, I've you got to teach us your magic, because that's awesome to see. But in general, we see that mixed bag. You know, Mark, right? This is about being able to see that bigger view. When you think about the roadmap that's coming, when you think about, you know, helping organizations not have that mixed bag, maybe even do better than the Pareto principle and have an 80%, 20%, although that's pretty fantastic, to be totally honest. What do you think about, like, you know, in terms of how all of these products come together and how they're connected? What are you most excited about from a roadmap standpoint? And then Jen, I want to hear from you what you're most excited about from a roadmap standpoint too.
Yeah, Shannon, I would let me lead off with a slightly different comment, which is, even in cases where, you know, an opportunity may have been missed or not missed, right? What is constantly going through my head, and I know many customers and leaders, is, did we do it in the best way? Have we optimized or reduced the risk, right? So in some cases, you can get lucky and ship or deliver a project or an outcome, but would there have been a better path? Could there have been a better path to get there? Could there have been one that, I don't know, maybe didn't burn the team's candles at both ends, or allow the team to take on another bit of work, or ship that fun feature that was a +1 at the end of the sprint cycle? So, you know, I think, yeah, there are projects that have, you know, very notable visible failures, and those are unfortunate, and we want to keep that from happening. But I think day in and day out, there's lots of chances to just simply do a better job getting that work done. And because of that, now getting to your question, as I mentioned earlier, what we're gonna do and invest around LiquidPlanner is helping to get more and more data into it. So easier access to pull up tasks and projects from underlying collaborative work management systems like Jira, for example, to be able to pull that in, to be able to inherit capacity information that's captured as part of Tempo's vast library of capacity information. And by exposing that in a really easy to use predictive engine like LiquidPlanner, we think we're going to help more people make better decisions about how to allocate their work, to reduce risk in planning, and to increase the likelihood that great work's going to be done in the best possible way. So that'll be driving a lot of our roadmap initiatives, hopefully with feedback and validation from so many people on the call here, and spending time with our customers to make sure that we nail it right out of the gate.
And I can see you ready to tell us more.
Thanks, Mark. Well, first, I just have to say, I love what you mentioned about opportunities to optimize and do things even better, even if we hit that target date. And I spend all of our time on the demo looking at mitigating risk and kind of seeing those red schedule bars. But with our scenario modeling, the tool can really represent opportunities to go faster and to go forward in a more efficient way. So I love that you said that. And as I think about our roadmap, you know, being able to pull in data from other tools, Mark, just what you said, has me so excited for the next chapter that LiquidPlanner has as part of the Tempo umbrella. And also, you know, I've been kind of monitoring the Q&A, and there's lots of really good questions. And we have a couple of questions in there from classic customers that are on our first product in market. And as I think about our roadmap and the additional partnership that we have with you all, I am so excited to build one of the core areas that exists in Classic in our LiquidPlanner new version that is tied to reporting. We have beautiful dashboards, as you saw, but more analytical reporting is probably my passion area, in addition to what you said, Mark.
This conversation has been talking a lot about work and projects and products and programs, but the underlying piece that actually makes all this magic come to fruition is the teams. So we have another poll here we're gonna pop up, which is around capacity. You know, Ted, you mentioned, right? We don't want to kill people. They have choice. They have. I'm not fun to work with in 5 hours of sleep. I actually can attest that I am not fun to work with after 5 hours of sleep. I don't think anybody really is. There's very few non-somniacs out there, folks who can operate really well with very little sleep. So when you're thinking about teams, Ted, Mark, Jen, Jen, we'll start with you because you work really closely with the LiquidPlanner team. When you're thinking about capacity and skills, how are you leveraging LiquidPlanner in order to find that balance to make sure that you can get the best possible, alignment and work from the group without necessarily overburdening them?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's funny, Ted, when you brought that up earlier, I was going to make a joke that I literally live and breathe our workload view. I have it up on my monitor at all times, and I'm seeing how the work is distributed and how close we are to hitting a release and looking at the skills of the team to say, okay, well, Josh on the front end side, he's really overloaded. But David could come in and help him out, right? So it literally helps me make decisions every single day, both micro and macro decisions, as we do our roadmap planning and our release management.
Yeah, Jen, thanks for reiterating. All of us are humans. We can only get so much done. One thing that's probably important to point out is that when you're managing resources, it isn't just the people on your team. It's the machines, or these days robots, that also help us to get more done with fewer people, or just get more done more accurately. And, managing machines and software can be magic when it's deployed appropriately. And we're trying to save time. So one of the things that our real-time engine does is updates automatically. And so as I've managed projects in the past, often using tools like Excel or Google Sheets, when things change, it requires a lot of manual manipulation. And that is just a time suck. And when things change every day or every hour, to be a responsible project manager, you're updating every day and every hour. And so we need to look for tools that can deliver, those time savings in sort of daily work, the minutia that ends up burdening us. And if we don't update it, then guess what? We're relying on information and a plan and insights that are inaccurate. And so that undermines decisions, that causes more uncertainty, that erodes confidence and trust, and things break, or those deadlines go whooshing past. I liked that question, Shannon. Good job. And that's no fun. So there are a lot of challenges in today's workplace. We're just trying to solve some.
Yeah.
I think that's really, it ties into also where we've gotten a lot of feedback here in the poll, which was a multi-choice. So folks could say more than just one thing. We opened up the options this time, but one of the things that's coming up pretty high here is adapting as new information comes in once we start the work, right? Mark, how do you see that sort of data, that sort of reporting? Jen gave us a little bit of a taste of what that looks like, helping organizations make better coincident indicator-based decisions.
Well, I mean, I think, a lot of modern teams now are adapting to different ways of organizing themselves. Like we've seen, Scrum teams and kind of adopt, sprint approaches to getting work done. So you see teams naturally kind of building in this constant evolution. Has the requirements changed? Do we need to reallocate our time? Kind of trying to rapidly adapt to a changing environment to hit some business objectives. What's not happened is they haven't had a lot of tools to do that in a really fluid way. And, I can think of very few industries and kind of different, work scenarios where you've got perfect stability over a long period of time. It's just not the way companies operate, regardless of industry. It's not the way modern teams and modern workers want to work. And what we love about LiquidPlanner is the ability to constantly adapt. And I think giving those tools to teams ultimately develops better culture in those organizations because they're working on better things, more meaningful, taking advantage of the available capacity without burning people out. I mean, sure, you can you can sprint hard for a period of time, but you can't really sprint a marathon. And as Ted mentioned earlier in the call, you're going to burn people out. They're going to get frustrated. They're not going to do their best work. It's not going to be fun or enjoyable for them either. And we think this is a way not only to get companies and teams more productive, but ultimately create, kind of work settings where people are just better. They're enjoying it. They're more productive, and they're doing their best work. And we think we can unlock that.
Thank you for those very thoughtful responses. It's just been a pleasure to work with you all, and I'm super excited about where we're going. We're going to shift gears a little bit. We've been kind of talking about the market, kind of talking about what this means. Let's talk a little bit more about what this means, just more tactically for our customers. So we touched on this. This is from Mark. We've touched on this a little bit. Your Tempo started in the Atlassian ecosystem. We started to move outside of the Atlassian ecosystem. LiquidPlanner is a standalone solution. Tell us a little bit about the rationale, and we've already hinted, of course, at connecting Atlassian data in, Jira data in, but tell us a little bit about that rationale.
Shannon, was that the question for me?
That was for you.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So first of all, our objective is to either develop or bring in the best products in a particular category, best of breed products. We looked far and wide. Hands down, LiquidPlanner has the most sophisticated yet easy to use approach to doing what we're doing. And we know that our customers don't do all of their work inside Jira, right? Different teams may standardize on a project management or underlying task management system, whether it's Jira, Asana, Monday, right? So we want to make sure that we've got capabilities no matter where our customers are doing their work. And as we've said a few times on the call, making it easier and easier to get that data available into these systems, particularly on the planning side up front, when teams are trying to figure out what are they trying to achieve. Whether it begins with kind of a strategic roadmap and laying out, major initiatives, turning those initiatives into specific projects, and then looking at the capacity that may be available to get that work done, particularly in those early phases of a project's life. We want to have the highest level of adaptability and flexibility so we can be where our customers and users want to work. And that ultimately led us to LiquidPlanner, and the sophistication of the model was something very, very difficult and time consuming to replicate or build. And we knew that becoming part of Tempo, we could quickly help LiquidPlanner gain access and connectivity into these different underlying systems. So that'll be something that we'll be talking about more. I see in the Q&A thread, there's a lot of questions about roadmaps. We can certainly circle back with people and talk about specifics and answer questions. But I would say, generally speaking, continuing an investment in an incredible product, helping it to ingest data from a wide range of data sources so that more and more people can use LiquidPlanner to set up and optimize their different paths through different projects.
There are, thank you for that response. There are quite a few questions in there talking about that roadmap for LiquidPlanner New, and definitely we have some folks that are using Classic for sure, wondering about those reports coming over all of that delicious, juicy roadmap. Ted, what are we going to unlock by joining forces here, and how do you hope that this will help our customers?
Well, Mark alluded to it. We will unlock data feeds and integrations that we have aspired to pursue and deliver for a long time. And being part of Tempo will enable us to move a whole lot faster than we've been able to move as an independent company. More than that, I think it exposes us to channels and partnerships that we haven't explored. And there is efficiency in doing that. We truly are proud of being a company that has built great software, and the compliments you offer, Mark, are wonderful. We believe we're sophisticated. We at least tried to build something that was. And you mentioned easy to use and intuitive. That was part, or a large part, of the aspiration of building a new version of our software. Great software sometimes is complicated, but complicated doesn't fly for a lot of teams. And as a project manager, you might have the discipline and the wherewithal to invest to overcome complication, but you need your whole team in the software, rowing in the same direction, working together for collaboration to deliver its magic. And therefore, then we set out to rebuild the software, maintain all of the power we delivered with the classic version, and a package that was far simpler to use, to adopt, and to master. In fact, we have a built-in learning path called Academy that really facilitates and enables that. So we feel like with this new product we are delivering and completing the build of, we've solved a lot of that complexity. We've enhanced the capacity and the power, and over time will help our customers adapt to the new platform. In addition to unlocking and sort of building integrations and partnerships and channels that haven't been available to us given our capacity. So we're super excited about those things. We know we can serve the marketplace better together than we could independently.
Just to add to that,
Yep.
if you don't mind, thanks, Shannon. So, our classic product had over 10 years of development in place. So there's a lot of rich features and functionality, and the products aren't apples to apples. So, the mission this year is very much to close some of the gaps that our classic customers need to migrate over to LiquidPlanner New. And in the meantime, keep classic stable, secure, and continue the support that we hope we're delivering to all of our classic customers.
That's a great segue, because I know we've probably answered this a few ways, but Ted, Jen, this always comes up. Is anything going to change? So I know it's a tactical question, but it's always kind of in the back of folks' minds. So is anything going to change? Ted, we'll start with you.
You bet. Our intentions are not to change. We very much enjoy serving our customers. Nothing gives me more pride than to read comments that show up on G2 or on software reviews, or especially talking to customers directly, and to receive feedback like, I looked for decades for something that would help me do this job, to plan with confidence and to be able to trust my schedule. And that we take great pride, but also take great embrace the responsibility that we feel that we owe our customers in continuing to deliver what we have been, what you rely on. And our aspiration is to enhance that. So to all of our existing customers on this webinar, I can offer you sincerely that our intentions are to continue to support you as well and better than we have to date. And so tell us what you need, and we'll do our best to respond. Jen, how would you add?
We've got some fantastic feedback already in this Q&A. Jen, what would you add there?
I think that's so well said, Ted. And, at the end of the day, we are keeping both products as standalone, and hopefully there'll be lots more integration opportunities should you want them. And we plan to grow LiquidPlanner New and offer more features and functionality. So well said. And thank you to all of our loyal customers on this call.
Shannon, if I could offer one little quick comment, to all of the customers who are partners who are joining us today, our intent is not to disrupt your relationship with the product, the team, the company, or us. And while LiquidPlanner is becoming part of a broader suite and portfolio of products, much like our other products, they all work on their own in a standalone basis. You don't need to use multiple products through the suite and the portfolio. We do believe over time the integration of those different products will be valuable to you, but that'll be your choice. And if you want to use LiquidPlanner and only LiquidPlanner in a standalone capacity, it's completely fine. We love serving you. We love our teams and our customers, and we'll try to make that as seamless and non-disruptive as possible.
This is we're just keeping an eye on time here. We're going to make sure we save a little bit of time for some of this Q&A that's coming in. Excuse me. all of a sudden just and one of the questions that I have for Jen, this might be more centered towards you, but Ted, Mark, feel free to chime in. Again, going a little bit more tactical here. Lots of questions popping in around, hey, I've got this kind of feedback, or I'd love to know if this is possible. Who can I reach out to in order to get my questions answered? Is there anyone specifically? We dropped the solutions at tempo.io link in there, which will definitely route in, but tell me, who do we make sure we work with? Who do we connect with if we've got questions and want to get some answers?
Yeah, that's a great question. So if you're using LiquidPlanner New, you can submit all feedback and questions just in the app in your user profile menu at the top left. And if you're not, go to our website and use the contact us. We're happy to answer any questions, go deep on anything that you want. So there's those two routes, and very much excited to take any questions.
Right. Mark, for our folks, so looking at our participant list, we have some partners that are here on the call today too. If they're interested to find out more about how they might talk about LiquidPlanner with their customers, what should they do?
For our partners, thank you for joining us. I think everyone should have a designated partner contact on the Tempo team. So that's a great point of first contact. For our partners, you will be trained shortly on LiquidPlanner. So we'll be rolling out that training and enablement. If we have partner prospects who are not currently partners with us as well, you can reach out. I think there's a contact link on the website, and we can bring you up to speed on the full portfolio and what it's like to become a partner. I do see that the volume of questions on the panel has probably outpaced our ability to answer them. I'm sure we'll find a way to package up all the answers and get them back over to attendees. So if we didn't reference your answer on the call, we will certainly get to it. Questions are important, and we'll make sure that we answer them all for you.
Yep. To add to that, we do take all of the lists of questions. We can get your response back. Everybody gets a full list of the questions and those responses as part of their post-attendance package. So that will be in there for sure. We've talked a little bit about proof of concept, a working proof of concept. Jen sent a video of it last night. It was delightful. I was so excited to see it around pulling in data from Jira as our first collaborative work management system that we're connecting LiquidPlanner to. Jen, if I want to get involved in that, what should I do?
Well, I think we are going to get an early access sign up going for anyone who's interested. Isn't that right, Shannon?
Yeah, absolutely. We're working together here on this call. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I think we'll in the follow-up, let's get a link out there, because we would love feedback early on as to exactly how you would like the integration to work, and are very open to that feedback. So maybe we can just include it in the post email follow-up.
Awesome. Fantastic. If you can't wait for that email follow-up and you really, really want to get to us before we all head off to Vegas for team, that email right there, that's in the chat, solutions@tempo.io, will definitely connect us in, but we will also make sure it's in that follow-up email as well. All right. So as we close out here, so we can make sure we leave some time for some Q&A, so we can decrease those Q&A numbers that are popping up here. Ted, interested in your thoughts. We're in 2025, 2026. What does the modern way of work look like?
Boy, in the midst of an integration, it's been hard for me in the last couple of weeks to think that far ahead, Shannon, but thanks for bringing my mind back where it needs to be. We are building for the future. We are trying to anticipate what teams will need tomorrow, not just today, but what they experience today and what we have witnessed over our 15 years in serving this marketplace is that teams want fewer disruptions to their daily workflow, right? We've talked about integrations a little bit. We as software providers need to deliver solutions that are seamless, that require team members not to change pace and lose productivity in the midst of all of those changes. So information flows, software systems that just work well together, and even some software now that might stand beside each other as competitors, finding paths to integrate in a way where those products become complementary and teams and companies become more effective. So those are all things that I think will emerge over the coming couple of years, and we're excited to deliver.
Mark, how about you? We're in the same place, so we're on a different webinar, maybe not even on a webinar, maybe it's a hologram. How has our way of work changed?
I think that we have unlocked the joy of building, and we build better together, and this, I think us coming together between Tempo and LiquidPlanner is an example of building better together. And ultimately, we are to serve our customers so that they can build better together, make better use of their available time, team's capacity, and to your lead off point, Shannon, that our customers never again have an unachievable, unpivotable, or unrealistic plan again, that we're helping those organizations to just unlock the joy of building.
Awesome. And Jen?
I don't think it'll take us that long to get there, by the way, either, but I'll answer the question.
I hope
we'll be there faster. Yeah.
And Jen, how about you?
Yeah, it seems like every year we're saying that things are, more rapid change is happening even faster than before. And, people are doing more and more, right? I mean, that's going to continue. And I see, Tempo products really being the central nervous system for an organization to help them understand what's happening with people and priorities and estimates and all the things that go into achieving business outcomes, and have that information right at their fingertips, so that they can pivot and so that they can make the best possible decisions with all the data they have to ultimately achieve the best business outcomes that they're going after.
All right. We started with a conversation about the nirvana that's possible today, and we're ending with the future vision of how easy and simple it will be. And I also am desirous of that happening sooner rather than later. And with the brain trust in our organization, I have no doubt. All right, it's 10:53, at least my time. We've got a few minutes left for some questions. One of the questions here, I think we had was around just because there's a couple of them, any sorts of differences or things or contractual changes between the classic version of LiquidPlanner and the new version. I just think we should reiterate that because there's a few questions in there around that.
Yeah, Jen mentioned it earlier. We do not have a sunset date drawn in the sand for the classic version. We are excited about supporting our customers and intend to do that long into the future. We are building towards parity. There are some features that are pending and features we know you need that we're working on. And our goal is to rebuild our product such that all of our classic customers will want to adopt the new product. And so I saw those questions there too. I wanted to answer that with ultimate clarity. From a contract standpoint, it's the same contract, classic to new. And we will work on, collaborative contracts and the way we work together with Tempo and Tempo products over the future weeks and months as we're able to get to that. But for now, we're excited about continuing to serve all customers, whether you're on classic or the new product, and over time, investing in making the new product a product everyone wants to embrace.
Thanks for that clarity, Ted. Jen, there were a few questions in there about expanding the integrations. We talked about that right now. Any kind of insight or visibility you can give to us around desires there?
Yeah, ultimately, we know that you can't be an island, right? Teams use so many different tools, and we want to leverage data from the tools to help it feed our engine and also connect to collaboration tools. We have a Slack integration, also looking at a Microsoft Teams integration to really bring the right level of information to make teams super successful in LiquidPlanner. So it's just a matter of prioritizing them. There's lots on the radar and lots that we're really excited about. Jira's up first.
And Shannon, I'll reiterate a point that was raised earlier, but we really do want to hear from everybody, whether you're a customer, a partner, or a prospective customer. And I know in this world where software is easy to try and buy and everybody loves self-serve, we still want to talk to you. And I think that kind of input from you, if you want to be involved with the POC that's in development, if you have ideas or questions, reach out. We can certainly collaborate, via email or or other means, but also just getting on a call and maybe hearing a little bit more about a use case you're trying to solve, an idea about how to better implement something. With your feedback, we will develop and deliver the most valuable experience. So that really is the intent. Do not hesitate. Reach out. We'd love to have a discussion and make sure that we're doing the best we possibly can for you.
Customers drive everything. We are customer mad here. There were a couple questions in the channel about team, since we do have a good chunk of folks who are Jira folks on the call. See us at team, we're there. Jen and I are there, Mark is there. We are going to be walking through that demonstration of the integration. We'd love that feedback, get you involved in our early access programs, in addition to all the other phenomenal things that we've been accomplishing and doing here at Tempo Group. So yep, shameless plug here as well. And as a reminder, all of these slides will be sent to you after the call. So if you want to click on that image and book a meeting, you will be able to. And then just wrapping up with more, there's our links there as well. If you're interested in starting a free trial, hop onto liquidplanner.com. You can check it out. But as Mark, Jen, and Ted mentioned, reach out to us. We're here to talk to you about the product. But first, we want to understand what sorts of problems, questions, and solutions you're trying to solve for, and make sure that, we understand your landscape, which it sounds like for us, given those polls, it's a little bit bumpy right now, and that's to be expected. All right. And if you want that deep dive, because we touched so lightly on some really meaty conversations, again, reach out to us. We are happy to get on the phone, walk you through in really, really deep detail what we're doing from a roadmap standpoint. If you want to understand the products better, we live for that. Jen lives for that. I live for that. And I know Mark and Ted also live for that too in their way. On the product way, we love it. We live for that conversation. So just a few things here for you all before we close up today. If you've joined other conversations that we've done, other discussions that we've done, you know that I like to ask a weird question before we close out. And I want to first thank you, Mark. Thank you, Ted. And thank you, Jen.
Yeah.
Don't worry, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. It won't be too embarrassing, I promise. It's just to help us get to know you a little bit better. Given all the options of superpowers out there, which one would you choose? Jen, we'll start with you.
I would like to fly. I have loved heights since I was a little kid. So I have skydived, I have bungee jumped, I've done all the things, and I love the feeling of soaring through the air. So that's an easy one for me. I would fly.
Awesome. Awesome. Ted, how about you?
Jen, you stole mine. I think we didn't know
You
that
can
about
fly
each
too.
other, but I would also like to fly. And I'm just going to do this really briefly. You'll learn a little bit about where I live and what I look at every day. None are flying right now, but I get to watch bald eagles this time of year soar around, sometimes be chased by crows. And it's there have been times this time of year where I turn my desk around because I'm so distracted by the soaring and the majesty that's represented by bald eagles. So flying would be mine too. And in fact, I've had dreams before where I wake up and I'm now falling through the air. So the falling woke me up, but I was actually flying in my dream.
Nice. All right, flying. 2 votes for flying. Mark, how about you?
I love the fact that Shannon does this. We have no idea what she's going to ask, so we're completely unprepared. I would love to breathe underwater. I love the ocean and water, and nothing would please me more than to be able to swim with dolphins and whales and seals and fish. So.
Fantastic. All right. Well, on that note, thank you so much for joining. Thank you, everybody who joined this call on Thursday. Again, we'll send you all of the wonderful details in a follow-up email. So you'll get that plus a recording of this webinar. And do not hesitate to reach out. Ted, Jen, Mark, I appreciate your time and looking forward to the next one when we talk about all these amazing updates.
Thank you, Shannon.
Thank you.
Super.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Shannon, Jen, Ted. Pleasure. Thank you. Bye.
Have a good rest of your day, everybody.